meeting John through this and being here now, you know, if it wasn't for Facebook, none of it would have happened.
And friends before Facebook, the role the social media site played in bringing these two men together and the special bond they share.
If you've ever lost track of someone important in your life, you'll understand what happened to two Western New Yorkers.
They have been reunited after a long time apart, but that reunion is extraordinary, emotional, and came courtesy of social media. Videographer Dan Holland and I discovered they were friends before Facebook. 75-year-old retired state trooper John Ciccone loves the time he spends performing on his guitar.
So the current vehicle that you're driving now, tell me a little bit.
49-year-old auto salesman Paul Alfieri also plays guitar as a studio musician and loves that. So it's not really unusual that these two men, a generation apart, would recently strike up a friendship and explore music together just for fun.
Right there, right there.
What is unusual is how these two first met almost 45 years ago. As a young trooper, John was heading for duty on the state thruway when the call came in. A child on a bicycle struck by a car in Batavia. This would become his first meeting with Paul.
Well, I saw a bicycle and I saw Paul laying there unconscious. Nobody else was there.
I have no memory of it. I have zero memory of it.
I saw him there and I felt for pulse and I checked his breathing and I couldn't see anything. So I started CPR, mouth to mouth and chest compressions.
I hit the pavement with my head, and because of the brain hitting the skull, the whole left side of my body was paralyzed.
But John got him breathing again and saved young Paul's life. The 5-year-old would spend a month in Strong Memorial Hospital recovering from severe injuries, with his family extremely grateful for this life restored.
I've been told many times by my parents, doctors, that, you know, that I'm kind of lucky to be here. You know, so I never took that for granted.
The trooper was a hero, winning awards and acclaim from the state and the state police, even gaining the notice of then-Governor Nelson Rockefeller. Along the way, John gave young Paul a real treasure, a trooper's Stetson. And that was the end of their contact for decades, even though both men say the chilling event has often played on their minds.
I thought about it a lot over the years. I do. Yeah.
It's always been, you know, thought of, you know, this man that's somewhere in the world saved me, you know, and I've never known him. I've never been able to shake his hand and say thank you.
As time passed in their busy lives, their families grew, they each changed towns. There wasn't a chance to track down each other. But they find it very curious that Facebook did it for them. For some reason, even though they have no friends in common, Paul's name just popped up as a possible friend for John.
So I waited overnight. I wasn't sure if I wanted to intrude, and I did. I asked for, requested a friendship.
And when I saw John Ciccone, the name just struck me.
And he messaged me back saying, Mr. Ciccone, I have a bizarre question to ask you. Did you save a 5-year-old boy's life in 1972?
He said, yep, that's me.
And we got together for a cup of coffee. Yeah. That lasted 2 hours.
We gave each other a big handshake, a hug. And it was just like natural, you know, and we sat right down and, boy, I got to tell you, 2 hours went by like 5 minutes.
And he brought the Stetson that we gave him back in the day, and a lady was kind enough to take our photo.
That was a few weeks ago, and since then, the two men have been getting to know each other.
I thought he was a really cool guy. You know, definitely not a guy that would pull me over and ask me for my license and my registration.
I'm really impressed with him. I saw the music he's doing, and he's so self-assured, confident, sharp guy. He looks good.
As for the future, John and Paul have plans to make more music and drink more coffee together and do a lot more talking about the profound emotional experience they shared.
Emotional? Yeah, it was exciting. Yeah, it was for me. And it's a big moment in my life, you know, big moment then. And it's great to see it again.
A moment that's been called a miracle then and now.
And I do feel that it's a miracle that we found each other. It's a miracle that it happened.
So glad it did.
And John believes this experience of saving young Paul's life made him a better trooper. He got much more serious about his career after this. He went on to become an investigator, a sergeant, and a senior investigator.
Did anything like that ever happen in his career again?
He never saved another life in that way, but he certainly touched a lot of lives. And he still remembers, he said, when he started at the police academy, they were asked to write down, why do you want to become a trooper? And he said, almost everybody in the class wrote down, because I want to help people. And he certainly did that.
Certainly a great story.
Yeah, it's a wonderful story.